we just stay here and then I'll walk.
Can we go up there?
Sure, I'll walk. Yeah, we'll walk up there. Well, we can all walk up there then. Well, be careful with slick shoes. So is this his grave here or stand on?
So we can't see this fenced out arm.
Can you see how the wall is set up? Well, thank you everybody for coming, especially for those that traveled from far away. So, you know, Mom went through a difficult year last year, as you all know, going through all the chemo treatment, and although it was kind of hard to go through it with her, it was awesome because I got a lot of time to talk to her about, you know, how she wanted to be remembered, and to be honest, how today's events took place. And she, just like the way she lived her life, she wanted to be really simple, no fanfare, but she wanted it to be a happy event, not a sad, remorseful one. So that's how we're going to keep it. I'll say just a few words real quick, and then, if it's okay, we're going to go around the horns. And if you want to give your favorite memory or Mom or Nana or whatever story that you have, and then we'll go ahead and we'll say a quick prayer, and we'll go ahead and put our hands in there. Well, gentleman's going to help us. Okay, so I get to start because I'm holding the box. So, Mom started a farm girl. You know, a lot of people that got to know her over time didn't really realize that she was like that. You know, grandparents were good farm stock or whatnot. Very simple woman. Very simple things that she wanted out of life, but that didn't mean she didn't have strong opinions that sometimes were difficult to change. But the one thing that never changed is how much she loved her children. Oh, she gave us a hard time, but particularly her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. Love them, absolutely. So I'm going to share my favorite Nana story. My kids all called her Nana. So when we were stationed in Hawaii with the military, and then later went to Germany, you know, that's when VCRs were just getting going, and we didn't have cable TV. So she wanted to help the war effort by sending us videotapes of movies and shows. But she could never get the clock right on the VCR. And it would always stop 5 minutes before the end of the show. I can't tell you how many hundreds of movies and TV shows we never saw the last 5 minutes of. And so it became known as the term of being nanaed, where you're suddenly thwarted at the last minute of any major event or show. So it will always, it still lives to this day. So, over to you, my brother.
Okay. Well, you know, I was trying to think of something because Tony said we wanted to do this, but the one story about my mom that always jumps in my head was when we actually were all still kids, and we were staying at a motel somewhere, and Tammy was struggling in the pool. So in goes Mom after Tammy with the pool, with her sunglasses on, and comes up, "Oh my God, I'm blind! I can't see! Where'd she go?" Of course, by then Tammy's already out of the pool, but I mean, that was Mom in a nutshell right there. So that's the one story I always remember about her. So
Tammy?
that was
Mom loved music, and she always had music playing in the car. When she'd come up to the house, you could hear her coming, and she'd be bopping. But she also played the piano. She played the violin when she was in high school. And she loved music of all kinds. And she got out of the car the one time, and Sonia and my granddaughter got in, and Sonia pokes her and says, "Watch this." She turns the car on, and the music is on like, you know, a deaf person 2 blocks away could hear it. And she's going, "Oh my God!" Turns it off. And why are you snickering? we told her that's what you were going to do. So she, we always had music in the home, and she always had music going in the car. And it was just one of the things that not everybody knew about her, but it was one of her things. That and the forever plants and the plant stands that were everywhere. Nobody wanted to water after Mom's plants when she was out of town. Poor Papa Don, he lived in fear of a plant dying when she went out of town.
Or you were toilet paper.
Right. So music is one of the gifts that Mom gave me.
When I went to go sell the car, when I checked her CDs out, Bob Marley came out #1. So I was like, right on, Mom, right on.
And it was loud.
Yeah.
It was always loud when I took my car. Anybody else?
I think that my favorite memories of her are not anything in particular. It was actually something that happened all the time. Every summer before I would go back to college, I would go stay with her for a week, and then Owen started to join me on that trip, and silence was never more comfortable around anyone as it was with her. She was the type of person that made my existence make sense. She's one of my favorite people on the planet, and I'm really sad I won't be making any new memories with her. But I will take her to the corners of the earth with me.
I wrecked her car at my senior prom. Her brand new Lexus. So that was funny. I was very scared to go home with it. But the Cracker Barrel right down the street, I had been told that it was impossible to scare her. And so I devised a plan where I put a bunch of ketchup all over my face and then was holding a knife to my eye. And then got her to scream so loud that we almost got kicked out of the Cracker Barrel. And that was one of my favorite moments.
That was cool.
A unique thing that I had the pleasure of was what I called the Darlene Gobble.
Yeah.
And the first time I experienced it was we were down at T-Town at the girls' apartment. I think it was Alpine, and we were outside and we were doing a cookout, and we had the whole spread and everything. And Kim looks over at Darlene and she goes, "You've got something on your shoulder." And Darlene goes, "Oh," and she goes, "That's mayonnaise." And she licked, and we immediately knew that it was bird shit. And so she, and all this kind of stuff, and it was very dramatic and hilarious and all that stuff. And we were on our way home, my dad and Darlene and I, and we were heading back up to Jasper, and he's got a smile on his face, and she goes, "What are you smiling about?" And he goes, "I got to see you eat bird shit, Darlene." And she goes, just, "Donald, Donald, Donald, Donald," like that. And that was the first time I ever heard the gobble, and I heard it every day.
Well, I'm going to say the great gift that Darlene gave me, is Tony, and also Grandpa Don and Donnie, because they were, obviously are still a big part of our life. And I have a lot of funny stories with Darlene because we did a lot. I will tell you, if you look in my phone on haircut days, it still says haircut Kim and Darlene. I can't take her off my calendar. A funny story. Sorry, Darlene. Tony was in Saudi Arabia, and my mother was taking the first week of my 2-week trip to go visit Tony, and Darlene was to take the second week, and they had a couple of days overlap, and all of a sudden Darlene didn't feel well, and long story short, she had a kidney stone. And so she didn't want to go to the doctor, and so they called and they said, "Well, just get a strainer, and when she pees, just, have her strainer pee." So they did that. Well, all I knew was my mom stayed the 2 weeks and Darlene went home. And then I get home and I'm going to bake something. And if you ever know Pampered Chef, there's this big, huge glass mixing bowl. And I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I called my mom and I said, where is that big Pampered Chef mixing bowl? And she said, oh, well. And she said, well, Darlene took it home. She was going to throw it away. And I said, well, why would she do that? Well, she peed in it. And I said, oh, well, there's a dishwasher. And so anyway, I called Darlene and I'm like, did you throw away my mixing bowl? And she said, no, but I peed in it. And I said, just put it in the dishwasher and bring it back next time we see you. So anyway, I thought that was a funny story. But we did also have the wonderful privilege of being stationed at Fort Benning, Fort McPherson, and Fort Rucker, where we got to see Darlene and Dawn, you know, quite a bit, which was really, really nice to have that time with them.
Anybody else?
Oh, hot dog!
Oh,
No hot dog.
Hot dog!
Okay.
And this, you know, little circle burn. And if you can add that to what the oh, good, it fits.
Weird.
Well, if you can all hold hands real quick, I just want to say quick.